Hello, kids. Good morning to one and all. I hope the sectors of Indian economy you have understood that chapter. Okay, so after finishing that chapter, I'm going to take a new chapter called agriculture in the geography chapter. So it is the fourth lesson. Second and third lesson, it is only for periodic. It is for the self study for you people. Okay, and in the third chapter, that is water resources, some places whatever map is there, like dam and major rivers, this only the map session is there for your board exam. So the second and third lesson, it is for the self study. So read those lessons there. Okay, so it is the fourth chapter, uh, called agriculture. Okay, everybody know about agriculture because you have already learned lot of things in the agriculture, how the agricultural activities will go on, what are the crops, what are the cereals, pulses, what kind of crops we are growing in our country. Same thing, each and everything. Yeah, the basic knowledge you all know about agriculture. Everybody knew that agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy also. So India is an agriculturally important country. Two-thirds of the population in our country are engaged in the agricultural activities. Okay, the two-third, and it is also called as a primary sector, as well as it is also called as a primary activity in our country. So when this agriculture was been started, when means from the ancient civilization, when the Neolithic as well as the Mesolithic period was been started in our country. From there, uh, in the prehistory to modern period at the present situation, we will see the agriculture is playing very important role in the economic activities. And also agriculture is also called as a backbone of Indian economy because most of the people are doing the agriculture as their basic business as well as their basic activity for their livelihood. So many of the small farmers are there, big farmers are there, they are already depend on agriculture there. And also some industries um, are based on agricultural products there, like cotton, sugarcane, as well as tea, coffee. So these are the example where these agricultural products are dependent on some industries, as well as the industries are dependent on these agricultural products there. Based on that only the products will uh, we will see the output of that production there. Coffee beans, like a coffee powder, tea leaves like a tea powder, spices, whatever masalas are being grown in our country, it will be converted to the some powder. And by using that powder, in the they will launch in the market like Everest, as well as certain things are being there, masala powders are being there in your surrounding. So based on that only it will be exported as well as it will be circulated within the Indian market there. So the word agriculture, okay, this word of agriculture is derived from the Latin word called agriculturia. So agri means field, culturia means cultivation, or a growing. So if you combine together agri and culture, it is a um, field growing, as well as we will see the cultivation activities in the land there. So the word agriculture is derived from the Latin word. Okay, many of the food products are being grown in our country. Base the farmers, a lot of the farmers, they are doing more and more activities there. You already learned, this is the basic introduction of agriculture there. So agriculture, it is the main important backbone of our Indian economy. Why we call it as a backbone means because most of the people in our country, they are dependent on agriculture only. Based on other activities, most of the people, they are doing the agricultural activities there. From the ancient period, if you see the ancient back past pages of history also, we will see the main occupation of the people, those are living in our country, was agriculture. As well as the kings at that period, they were getting the lot of taxation from the agriculture only. 1/6, 1/8, 1/4, like that they used to collect the taxes, and based on that only the activities as well as economic activities were being taken from the ancient, when the Mesolithic and Neolithic period was being started in our country, that is the prehistoric period. From there till Mesolithic means the ending stage of Mesolithic and the starting stage of Neolithic. That time the people started growing some of the trees. So in the Neolithic period, we will see lot of cultivation activities done by the people. From there till the at the present situation, the agriculture is playing very 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 important role in the economic activities there. And also some of the industries are based on agricultural products only. I have told the example like tea, coffee, cotton, also cotton. Whatever raw cotton you are growing, after that it will go towards the yarn, it will be converted to the yarn. That yarn will be converted into the some of the clothes there, whatever clothes you are wearing. In that way, that is the procedure. So some of the industries, some of the factories are dependent on agricultural products only. Okay, so I have told what is the derivation of agriculture. Agriculture is nothing but it is derived from the Latin word called agriculturia. Agar means field, and culturia means cultivation or a growing there. So there are certain types of farmings are being there. Based on that only, the farmers, they will do the agricultural activities in our country. So what kind of agricultural activities then? Okay. So agriculture is an old economic activity in our country. Cultivation methods have been changed significantly, depend on characteristics of physical environment, technology, as well as social and cultural practices. Okay, whatever you are seeing the past pages of history, whatever cultivation methods they were using, that cultivation method we are not using at the present situation. Okay, based on situation, based on the condition, the cultivation methods has been changed significantly there. Before they were not doing any kind of irrigation. After a certain period, in the medieval period as well as in the um, present situation, the we will see the irrigation method was being improvised in our country there. Okay, even some social cultural factors, whatever practices we are doing, based on that also, we will see some certain types of farming there. So there are totally three types of farming are there. One is primitive subsistence farming. Second one is the um, intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming. Third one is the commercial farming. So these are the three types of farming there. So first one is the primitive subsistence farming. So this type of farming is still practiced in the few pockets of India. Only in some areas we will see this kind of practice, that is primitive farming we will see in some parts of our country. So primitive farming is nothing but in a small patch of land, with the help of old tools like hoe, dio, as well as digging stick, like a plowing stick will be there na, which we were using by manually, the with the help of animals they were doing the plowing, as well as cultivation work, as well as harvesting work, you know. So primitive tools means the old tools whatever we were using before adopting the modern methods there. So that we call it as a hoe, dio, digging stick, and the family members as well as community, their family members only they used to do the that work. Okay, so it is also called as slash and burn technique. Okay, this primitive subsistence farming is also called as slash and burn technique. So this farming is depend on totally this kind of farming. If they are using this type of farming as well as this type of cultivation method means, they are almost they are depend on monsoon season, natural fertility of the soil, sustainability of other environment conditions to grow the crop. So based on natural elements only, the agricultural activities we will see in the primitive farming there. So the primitive farming is also called as a slash and burn technique. It means the farmers clear a patch of land. Okay, think that you are staying in a one village area. Okay, beside that only a fertile land is there, and many of the trees are being grown. It is like a forest area. So during the ancient period as well as some parts of India even till today, what they are doing means they used to clear that forest area, some patch, some 1 hectare or a 2 hectares, whatever usage they are needed. They used to clean that patch of land, and then they used to do the plowing work, cultivation work, fertilization of the soil. It should be a level there, as well as they used to uh, sow the seeds, and they used to grow the crop. So the farmers clear a patch of land and produce the cereals and other food crops to sustain their family. So in this way, a small patch of land they used to cultivate the agricultural products there. So when the soil fertility decreases, so always you are doing in that land only. If you are going continuously, you are going cultivating some food crops means slowly the soil loses its fertility there. So when the farmer came to know that the soil fertility is decreasing, so immediately what he was doing, he was shifting his agricultural land to the some other patch of the land there. Okay, so one patch to another patch, he used to shift the agriculture and clear a fresh patch land. They used to do the cultivation. So this type of shifting allows the nature to replenish the fertility of the soil through the natural process. So whatever barren land they were, when the soil started decreasing, when the farmer go towards the another fresh patch of land means that land will be as a barren land, as a what we will tell open land. We will not see any kind of cultivation work there. So the farmers they living as it is only, so that by self only it can do the fertility of the soil. Okay, it naturally the fertility of the soil should increases there. So in this way the slash and burn technique was being used in our country. So in the different parts of the India, we will tell the slash and burn technique in a different name. Okay, in what names means one, it is called as a jumming. Jumming means in the, it is called in the northern eastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Palamu in the Manipur, Dipa in the Bastar district of Chhattisgarh, and in Andaman and Nicobar Island also Dipa is being used. Okay, this jumming in the other parts of the world is also called as a slash and burn agriculture is milpa. Milpa in the slash and burn technique. Another name of that technique we call it as a milpa in the Mexico, and in Central America, Venezuela. Roca in Brazil. So in this way, different kinds of name are been uh, has been used to tell the primitive farming there. So in India, the primitive form of agriculture is called as a Bewar or a Dahiya in the Madhya Pradesh, Podu and Penda in the Andhra Pradesh, Pema Devi and Komam in the Odisha, Kumari in the Western Ghats. So in this way, in the different kinds of name, the slash and burn technique has been used in the different parts of our country. Not only in our country, in the other parts of the world also, we will see the name slash and burn technique. Whatever primitive farming we are using, that primitive farming is having a different kinds of name in our country as well as in the world. So the next one is the uh, intensive subsistence farming. This is the next type of farming in our country what we are using. So this type of farming is practiced in the areas of high population pressure on land. Wherever fertile land will be there na, where we will get the abundance of water, and where we will see the highly populated area, most of the people they are concentrated in that area and do the agricultural activities. So this type of farming are being practiced in that kind of area there. So it is the labor intensive farming. Here we have to hire some of the labors In the primitive, only family members they were doing the agricultural activities, but intensive subsistence farming means here the labor intensive farming will be there, where high doses of biochemical inputs, that is modern inputs, chemical inputs, they are being used for the agricultural activities, and irrigation are being used to obtain the higher production. So due to the well method irrigation facility, they can increase the production in the agricultural activities. So this kind of farming we call it as the intensive subsistence farming there. So, through the right of inheritance leading to the divisions of land among the successive generation has rendered land holding size of uneconomical, the farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land. So, in the absence of alternative source livelihood, thus there is an enormous pressure on the agricultural land there. So, wherever the fertile land will be, it is been available due to the modern technique of agricultural method, the farming has been done. So due to the well irrigation land, if it is having a well irrigated land means always the farmers they will obtain the higher production in the agricultural activities there. So this type of farming we call it as a intensive subsistence farming. So one homework I will give to you people. So find out the intensive subsistence farming has is having a different kinds of name in our country. So find out and write it down so that it will be helpful for your extra knowledge there. So this is one of the homework what I am giving to you people. So can you name some of the states of India where this kind of farming has been practiced in the different name? I have told about slash and burn. It is also called as a jumming. As well it is also called as a dippa. So in this way, in the different parts of our country, we will name in the different name whatever method they are using, that method one name is there. So find out about intensive subsistence farming and tell to me. So I will also come to know what are the different names what they are using in the farming there. So next one, the third type of farming is the commercial farming. Okay, so the main characteristic of this type of farming is use of the higher doses of modern farming in the usage of higher doses of modern inputs. Okay, so in the intensive farming, we will see only some percentage, like 50 percentage if they are using the chemicals means in 50 percentage they are using the other kind of inputs like natural inputs to produce the agricultural crops. But in commercial crops, totally they will use the modern farming method to cultivate the higher production of agricultural goods. Okay, so the degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another region. Always we will see the difference between from one region to another region. Okay, in what way we are using the modern inputs means already you have learned after the green revolution what are the modern technique we have been adopted, like HYB seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides in order to obtain the higher productivity. So the degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another region. For an example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. Okay, with that they are growing some other crops there as well as they will eat. It is a one kind of food what in the Punjab and Haryana they used to grow, but in Odisha, we will see the variation from one person to another. Most of the people in Odisha, they will eat some other food crops there. Okay, some other crops as well as some other commercial crop. In that way, from one region to another region, we will see the variation of usage of commercial crop as well as commercialization of agriculture. Uh, we will see the differences there. So plantation crops is also a type of commercial farming. So in this type of farming, a single crop is grown in a large area. That we call it as a plantation crop. So the plantation has the interface of agricultural and industries. Both in the agricultural sector also they will play a very important role, as well as in the industries also they will play a very important role. So this type of commercial farming, that is plantation, was being introduced by the Britishers when they came to our country. So that time they introduced the plantation farming there. So plantation farming, in a large area, only single crop they will grow. For an example, tea, coffee, okay, they will not grow other type of crops. If they are growing in that large piece of land means they will grow that type of crop only. So plantation covers a large tracts of land by using the capital intensive input with the help of migrant laborers. From one place to another place, the laborers will go and work. Na? So with the help of that migrant laborers only, this plantation farming will be done there. So all the produce is used as a raw material as a respective of industries. So whatever plantation crops we are growing, it is used as a raw materials in the industries. So in India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana are the important plantation crops in our country. So tea we will more produce in the Assam and in North Bengal. Coffee, most of the coffee plants will grow in Karnataka, are important plantation crop which are grown in the states there. So about this in detail you are going to learn in the further sessions there. So since the production is mainly for the market and well developed network of transportation and communication connecting the plantation area, producing the industries and the market plays a very important role in the development of plantation crops there. So how this kind of farming was being increased in our country means due to the well developed network of transportation and communication. So nearby, if any tea, coffee, rubber, as well as bananas they are growing means nearby, if you are having a good transportation facility, good road facility means it will connect the large areas where you can go and sell your plantation crop and you can earn little bit more money. Okay, as well as if it is having nearby industries means it is a very good, so that they can earn little bit more profit instead of selling in the market as usage for the consuming goods. If they are giving as a raw material for the industries, um, something a final product will come out and they can also little bit more income there. So if nearby industries are being there and these industries are dependent on agricultural products means it will be very helpful for the industries also to purchase the goods and services. And if they are getting the reasonable price in the market, so whatever they are growing, if they are selling in the market and some percentage if they are earning profit means surely they will go to that market area and they will sell it. So this plays a very important role in the development of the plantation crop in our country. So these are the three types of farming what we are using in our country even till today also: the primitive, intensive, and the commercial farming. Even plantation farming is also playing very important role in the agricultural activities. So in the next session I am going to explain about crop pattern. Okay, which type of pattern we are using to grow the crops and what are the major crops we are growing in our country, uh, and what are the food crops and other grains we are using, what are the commercial crops, non-food crops, horticulture crops. Lot of things you are going to learn in the agriculture chapter there. So how the farmers impact of globalization has been there in the agriculture. Lot things you are going to learn in the agriculture. These are the three types of farming what we are using in our country. I hope today's class you have understood. If you are having any kind of doubt you can just pin your question in the group so that I will try my level best to sort out your problems. So signing out, have a great day. Bye kids, bye everyone, stay safe, bye.